Good evening, Fernwood. My name is Neil, and you are joining me for my wrap up of week 12 of the social commentary filled soap opera Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. This is about to be the March 26th, 1976 episode. There were a couple of major plot points that happened last episode, so I'll just cover those and then we'll start right away. First up, Muriel Haggers has shown up at the Haggers household and has really put just the beginnings of a wedge between Loretta and Charlie. Loretta thinks that Muriel is great, and Charlie knows that she is not so great. In fact, she has as much as told Charlie that she plans to break up their marriage, Loretta and Charlie's marriage. The other bit, and this is really kind of a current culmination. Mary Hartman has what looks like a panic attack. She started shivering and shaking, and Tom just had to comfort her and kind of hopefully, well, I don't know, nothing after that has shown on Mary's side. So I think we've got to start. This is a Friday episode, so a lot of things may happen, but that's all the stuff I can think about right now. Let's just go.
Listen, why don't you think about not having company tonight? Why don't you just call up Mona and tell her to forget about coming over, huh?
No, I'm so fine. I wanted to come out.
Hey, what are you so nervous about?
I'm not nervous. Why do you think I'm nervous? What makes you say that? You think my hand is shaking? I don't like when you do that, Tom. It makes me very nervous.
You're dropping the stuff all over.
You want some nuts?
No, no thanks, no thanks. We've got enough problems with a sex therapist coming over. I think that's nutty enough, don't you?
No, I believe in broadening our horizons, and the only way that we're going to broaden our horizons is to open up things and talk about them. And with a sex therapist, he can be very open, and so we will talk to her and we will open ourselves up.
Listen, what are we going to learn about sex and talk about sex? What can you talk about? I mean, you just do it.
There's more to sex than birds and bees.
Sure, there's people. I mean, that's it. That's just it. That's all there is.
Oh, it's Mona. Go sit on the couch. Okay. Okay. Here, get rid of this one.
Hello, Mary.
Mona! How nice to see you. Come on in. Tom? Well, look who's here. It's Mona. You remember Mona, don't you?
Well, sure. I just saw her yesterday. Hi, Mona.
Hello, Tom. Well, I can see you two have a lot you want to talk about. So why don't I just leave you two alone, and I'm going to go in there and put up some coffee, because it's always nice to have some coffee, while you're talking about stuff. And, oh, those nuts have been on the floor. I hope you like them.
How have you been?
Yeah, okay. I've been fine. How are you? How have you been? Good? Good.
Fine. It's a little chilly out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the weather, I guess.
Probably.
Well, I bet you two are talking up a storm, aren't you? It is so nice when a person's husband and a person's best friend can just communicate like this. What were you talking about?
Well, not much.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting how people can talk to each other without saying too much? I'm gonna go see if the coffee's ready. You two talk.
She seems a little nervous tonight.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I'm gonna take it in here. So you two just continue talking. I'll get the phone. Hello?
Hi, Mary, this is Kathy.
What? Oh my God.
No, it's Kathy. Remember you told me to call you?
Well, that's terrible. Well, what happened?
This was your idea.
I'll be right over.
Over here, over to the Capri Lounge?
No, it is no trouble. This is no trouble at all. I mean, listen, you know, what are friends for? I'll be right there. I'll be there. Bye.
What's the matter?
I just have to go now. Something came up and I just have to go.
What is it, Mary?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a, you know, family problem. It's nothing I can't handle. I mean, it's nothing to worry about or anything like that. You haven't touched the nuts yet, have you? Here. Bye.
No. Muriel, I'd like for you to meet my best friend in the whole wide world. This is Mary Hartman. And this is one of the nicest people you'll probably ever meet. This is Muriel.
Muriel. I am so sorry that I barged in. No, I'm really so sorry. I really should have called first, but I was on the phone. I mean, I'll
Mary,
be back later.
don't be ridiculous. Get over here right this minute. Sit down and talk to us. What the heck are you talking about? Come on, sit down, sit down. Heck, we're just having a cozy, nice little chat, and I'm sure Mary wouldn't care if you join us.
Oh, absolutely.
Any friend, this dear little thing's a friend of mine. Any friend, any ex-husband of mine's a friend of mine.
That is so civilized. I mean, that is sophisticated. A man with his 2 wives. I can't get over that. You know, I know marriages where there's only one wife, but there's so much trouble and there's so much difficulty in communicating that even with just one wife, that people have nothing to say to each other.
I can tell you're a very intelligent woman.
Muriel? Muriel, you must be awful tired. I mean, you've been traveling all day. Well, wouldn't you like to go back to your motel or wherever you came from?
Charlie, I'm not gonna let her stay at any motel. I mean, with her financial problems and everything, and I mean, us getting along so nice, and all she's gonna stay with us. Now, come on.
Honey, I know it's always been a rule of this house that we welcomed any stray dog, but Muriel would be more comfortable, I'm sure, in a motel.
Actually, I appreciate your concern, Charlie. But I'd be real proud to stay here with you people. I do thank you for your consideration, though.
You know what, Miriam? Maybe you'd like to get a little bit of rest, you know? Why don't you just go on upstairs and give little Betty by?
Maybe I will. Yeah, maybe I will. Good night, Charlie. Oh. Mrs. Hartman.
Oh, call me Mary.
Mary. Well, you know, Mary, I've always had a fondness for Charlie. I mean, I never lost my fondness for Charlie. That was my reason for coming here. And then I met this dear, sweet little wife of his. I just fell in love with her. And now, I meet her dear, dear friend, and I find that she's just warm and intelligent and real. I think I'm gonna cry. I don't know what to say. I wish I had something to say.
Well, I hope I see you again real soon.
And I hope I see you again real soon, too.
Oh, well, you can just, you know, look out your window. I'll be hanging the laundry. Is it okay?
Muriel.
Yeah.
I'll go upstairs with you, help you find towels and all that stuff. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Let's go. Be back in just.
Holy sheep dip.
You want to know something, Charlie?
What?
I feel funny saying this because, you know, she's your wife and, well, she was your wife, and I just don't want you to take this personally, but, I don't like her either.
You
No,
don't?
and I'm just not sure why either.
Mary, could tell you 7,532 reasons for not liking that woman.
Yeah, well, I guess if there's hatred in someone, I guess if you're married to them, you must see it.
Tell me something, Mary. Tell me something. What in particular is it you don't like about her? I mean, can you tell me? I'd really be interested.
Well, yeah, she's sweet. And, she's warm. And she's open. But you just want to take her by the neck and wring her out. You know what I mean? I mean, did your grandmother ever do that to a chicken? It's like that. I mean, like that.
Mary, you're a very perceptive woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you really think so?
I do.
What does that mean, perceptive? I mean, from your point of view.
It means you see through her fake front. You're sane.
Sane?
Yeah, lately I get the feeling around here like everybody's out of step but me. But now, you.
Me?
I just gotta say you're a different drummer.
I still don't like her.
I just can't figure out why Mary wanted me to call her.
She's a very mysterious woman. Very fascinating.
Are you still interested in her?
She's a married woman.
Would that stop you?
No.
Did she stop you?
You're very cute when you get jealous.
Well, do I have anything to be jealous about?
Kathy, you're you, and Mary's Mary. And right now she's got some problems that she has to work out. Would you say?
Yeah, she has a few problems, but you're sitting here with her sister who doesn't have any of those kind of problems.
For which I thank you.
Mm.
You and Mary are pretty close, aren't you?
Yeah, she asks me, about things. I guess she figures I'm an expert.
You are. More than you know.
Thank you, sir. Why don't we go somewhere else where we could have more fun?
Want to leave here?
Mm-hmm.
Like mini golf.
Where do you want to go?
Your place would be nice.
That's what Mary said.
Mary said your place.
And Mary said my place was nice. All we did was talk.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes.
Were you disappointed?
Yes.
Do you love her?
Kathy, I try and live in the present.
Why don't we go to your place?
Huh?
And then she said,
What?
that's all very well and good. There's just one trouble.
What's that?
My husband's a homosexual.
Yeah, that's funny. That's really
Do you
funny.
love it?
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Yeah?
Let me ask you a question, okay?
Mhm.
This work you do.
Yeah.
How'd you get into that line of work?
Well, remember I told you I was an opera singer?
Yeah, yeah.
Coloratura.
What is that? Huh? A coloratura? What is it?
Coloratura soprano, yeah.
Hey, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you. Anyway, I used to date this psychologist. We had a good relationship. I mean, a 360-degree relationship. You know what I mean?
No, not really, no.
No? I mean, all of it was good.
Oh, and,
Well, he used to talk to me about his patients. Psychologists don't usually talk to other people about their patients, you know.
yeah, it was a kind of a confidential relationship. Huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we were very close. I mean, very, very, very close.
Very close. I get the idea, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he used to tell me things about his patients. And he had this one patient, a man, who was perfectly healthy and physically capable of having a perfectly normal sex life.
Uh-huh.
But
But what?
for psychological reasons, he was having physical problems.
Uh-huh. With his sex life. Huh?
Right.
Well, what kind of problems was he having?
Well, he had what we call performance anxiety. Do you know what that means?
Performance?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't get into things like that. What is that?
Well, that's when the man is thinking so much about pleasing the woman that he doesn't please himself.
Oh.
In other words, he worries so much about how he's doing, he ends up not being able to do anything at all. Did you ever hear anything like that?
Yeah, I think I heard about it, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, I think I read about it. I read about it. Yeah, performance anxiety? That's what you call it?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that must be kind of a rough thing to have. Yeah.
Of course. And it's a very common thing, actually.
No kidding. Yeah. Oh, anyway, tell me about how you got into the business. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of sex clinics. You know, they're all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know the way they work, don't you? Surrogates.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. Yeah.
Well, my friend, the psychologist, he was talking to me one day about this male patient of his.
The one who had the performance anxiety, you mean?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
the one.
Yeah, that guy, poor guy.
So, yeah. So my friend said to me, he said, Mona, I'll bet you could help me with this patient if I taught you the techniques they use at the big sex clinics. I mean, the good ones, the really good ones.
Like Masters and Johnson? Yeah.
Right. How'd you hear about them?
Oh, I think Mary mentioned it to me once or twice, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Masters and Johnson certainly are the best.
Yeah?
Well, anyway, I told my friend it certainly sounded interesting, and he taught me to be a surrogate.
He really did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Taught you to be a surrogate. What is that, a surrogate? You mentioned that before. What? I'm not sure I know what that means exactly.
A surrogate?
Yeah.
That means I take the place of the man's wife. Only not doing the things that the wife did wrong, of course.
Did the psychologist teach you that?
Right? Mm-hmm.
Well, how come he didn't teach the man's wife directly so she could do it?
Well, it's not that simple. Marriage is not a simple thing, Tom.
Well, I know, that's for sure, but...
You see, one of the reasons the sex so often goes wrong in a marriage is that there are a lot of other things mixed in with it.
Like what?
Well, like they disagree about raising the children, or they argue about how she keeps house, or having liver for dinner. See what I mean?
Yeah, or...
And they can be apart on all
Tom
kinds of
doesn't like
things.
liver.
You mean maybe like not paying enough attention to the problems a man has at work?
Absolutely.
Huh?
That can affect their sex life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well. Is that on the level?
I wonder why you asked me that. Isn't Mary interested in the problems you have at work?
Mary? Well, yeah, Mary is. She is. It's just that, I got a lot of things that I want to... I come home from work. I've been running for union election. I'm busting with stuff to talk about. I want to talk to her about these things, but she's got other things on her mind, see? She wants to talk about other stuff, and, well, let's not talk about me and Mary. Let's just let that be, okay? Go ahead. Tell me what you were saying.
Well, with all these things going on in a marriage, sometimes when something goes wrong with a couple's sex life, the wife doesn't know what to do about it. She can't handle the situation. And that's where I come in.
As a surrogate?
Right. See, I can replace the wife because I don't have all those problems about raising kids and whether to serve liver for dinner or not. So I can work with the man, and I can prove to him that he can perform, and perform very well, as soon as he stops feeling so anxious about it. See?
You mean you actually perform with him?
He performs. I'm just a surrogate.
But you actually, you go to bed with him?
Not always. Sometimes just talking can do it.
But sometimes you go to bed with him?
Oh, if it's necessary. After all, my job is to cure the patient, and if I don't, my reputation is ruined.
But if you have to, you go all the way with him.
A person's reputation is very important, Tom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it sure is. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to damage anybody's reputation. You know, that's interesting what you do. I mean, I can't believe that you do that for a living.
I think it's
That's
important
very
work. It's very important.
I agree. It's very important work, yes.
You really think so?
I really do. Yes, I do.
Well, then maybe I can tell you something.
What?
Mary didn't ask me here just because we're old friends. She asked me here because she needs me.
I knew
Professionally.
it. I knew it. I had a darn good feeling that was what
You
was
do?
going on. Yes, I did. So, for God's sake, you're here professionally, huh?
Oh, and as Mary's friend, of course.
Yeah.
But basically as a therapist.
You know, I wonder why Mary didn't level with me about that.
Well, remember all of what I was saying about all the things going on in marriage?
Oh, you mean about the children, liver, and stuff like that, you mean?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you see, with all these complications and the effect it has on the relationship, sometimes it's very difficult for the partners
Yeah.
to tell each other the absolute truth.
Yeah. But if Mary has a problem with her sex life, I wonder why she didn't, talk to me about it first.
I'm very glad you feel that way,
Why?
because then you'll be able to help me help her.
Help you help her?
Yes, wouldn't you like to?
Well, sure. Sure, anything. Come on, stop that. What do you want me to do? Huh?
Hmm?
Huh? What?
Tell you.
That was a seduction if I ever saw one, and I mean, I'm really glad that at least Tom has an understanding of what's going on. Finally, as softly as the language had to be, censored for the description of what a surrogate does, at least it seems like it is explicitly clear to Tom what a surrogate is. And I don't think that Mary actually knows what she is asking Mona to do. I'm so glad that Tom wants Mary to tell him the problems that she is having with their sex life. I wish Mary had just come out and said it. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen since it's Friday. We may come right straight back to this scene on Monday. But also there seems to be the intent, Mona has the intent, there also seems to be the intent for Mona to help Mary. And Mary definitely needs help. And I don't know that Mona is going to be the person to help her, but I'm glad that there's the intent to help there. Of course, Mary is questioning her sanity when Charlie says that she is sane. The look on Mary's face was definitely more of a question mark than an exclamation point. She definitely disliked Muriel, with good reason, but maybe just intuition because, Muriel was doing her best to put on that sweet face. So, that is the March 26th, 1976 episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thank you again for joining me, and we will see you next week in Fernwood.